Hello. Every time I try to start, I try to move camera so it's better, and the phone falls and like knocks everything onto the ground. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. There's a pretty dense energy. Don't know if you're feeling it. Let's see what we get. Cheetah. I think the masculines got that the other day. Peacock. Makes sense. Raccoon. I don't think we've seen that for a very long time. And then fox, which has been coming out quite consistently. Okay, so there's a lady outside and she's talking about her arm very loud. And she started like right when I sat down. So I thought that was very interesting. It may be that the masculine has a strong desire to mend, because that's what she was talking about. Something he feels like he broke. Two of Cups, Empress. Yeah, his true love. That's what this is. The Peacock's giving me that vibe too. I just saw Knight of Wands. Ooh, I like these cards. Not quite what I was expecting, because it's interesting here. I see the fox, but then the word hyena is poking out. Yeah, and this card is like light and dark sides of the moon right here. I think you're a little bit suspicious of what he really wants, intentions. I feel like there's a big like buffer of like, what do you want? Knight of Cups, King of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune. Alright. I'm gonna not look while I shuffle them, and then we'll stop when I say stop. Alright, Chariot reversed, Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, both are all reversed, Ten of Wands, Five of Pentacles. So his reality is looking bleak right now. There's not, oh, we got Otter too. Otter and Rabbit, very interesting. Okay. This is the 3D in full 3D-ness. Interesting. I heard something about the Four of Pentacles, and now I can't remember. Four of Pentacles is somewhat of an inheritance. Okay. Bottom of the deck, we have Four of Wands, Two of Pentacles. Can't decide what he should do. And Magician. We can't never ignore that. With the Knight of Wands on a unicorn, the Queen of Wands in reverse, Strength, Nine of Cups, and another 7. So 777 may be a sign. We also have three, four, five, six, 7. So there is Ascension energy here. You may be really going through a period of time where things feel, I almost want to say like he's hyper fixated on strategy and being logical. And you know, you're showing up with your back turned. You're showing up with the Queen of Pentacles, as the Queen of Pentacles. He's showing up as Page of Cups and Knight of Wands. he may be younger than you. There may be a status difference that bothers him, because we're talking about it here. There's a lesson here about being able to receive. I just knew the karmic was going to come out. I just knew it. Stabbed in the back and girl with a snake are here. And karmic. Whatever stopped him before from the plans you had, the situation you had, going forward, it was definitely this karmic that you're thinking about. So he's been watching you, trying to look like he's going away from you. I think this is the fox energy. I have to open my window. But it's funny, it's like this in the last reading I had, it was all about like this faith of this cross here. And I left it upright. I left it to see, and they're kind of bringing my attention to it right now. Stop. He's trying to appear to go away from you. It's funny because I feel like he's trying to get a lot of attention by not wanting attention. I don't know how to explain this. It's like maybe he used to pay a lot of attention to you and now he's paying none, or I don't know. I love this card. I think it's such a beautiful card for so many reasons. I think it's really the only one in this deck, and I'm not sure, but where the person is standing fully in the water. And of course it has the turtle on the background, on the reverse. But inside, his emotions are just like so wanting to come out, and he wants you to be like, please sir, please put the fish in my cup, please share these emotions with me. You guys hear this woman? She's far away, but she's very loud. Okay. And that's kind of obviously nothing really happens without a reason. It's like you may hear that I think it's a female talking about you or saying something. So I think you guys are working on this fact that there's difficulty here in both giving and receiving, it feels like. You both may have difficult times with, and I just noticed that these two cups down here have like splashes of water, like a fish just shoved into them. You guys may have difficulty receiving. And in my true fashion, what just happened was I did a post on Instagram about why it may be difficult to receive. So when I initially sat down, I felt like the question that kind of wanted to be asked was, what will happen in the retrograde, and with all this retrograde energy. And I feel from these cards that there's quite a sobering look back at what has gone on. And I just saw the card for the solar eclipse. Okay. I actually think he's going back through, I haven't had a reading like this in a while, going back through, if you guys texted, messaged, emailed, or wrote letters or anything like that, I think he's going back through. Interesting. We had this card come up the other day. Reading them, he's very nostalgic right now. So we're in Cancer season, and there's a lot of feelings here. You get the Jupiter abundance in the 4th house roots, 5th house creativity, Pisces I believe, the Sun spirit, Mercury mind, Black Moon Lilith, and Uranus. It just moved into Libra. So we kind of moved, you know, I don't believe you can take one thing out of astrology and like make the entirety about that. It's more to me about how everything kind of goes together. But in the significance of moving from Virgo to Libra is that we move from the individual focus to the relationship focus. Now, Lilith is kind of the dark feminine, the shadow of the feminine, right? And I was kind of talking about the difficulty about receiving, which would fall kind of in that category. I feel from the feminine that there's been this, so please take this with a grain of salt, okay? Because everybody's scenario is going to be different, and it feels like if there was a karmic element, person, job, or whatever, family, that didn't, you know, they didn't like you, there was friction between you, you felt slighted, you felt less than because of his choice or whatever it was. There's like a not good enough element somewhere in there. It also feels to me with this Mars Chiron that there was some kind of, could be jealousy, but something around that line, like, you know, the phrase kind of like, I'll never forgive him, we can never get past this, I can't ever forget, all of these type of things, where it seems like there's an element of pride. Now, we don't have any of that coming up here, but I do feel that retrograde is going to lead you, is leading you through these cards, and what I feel coming is going to be asking you to examine your pride and examine some more delicate parts of your ego. I'm just getting these messages because these cards are pretty intense. You know, it's really interesting that your destiny and your wealth and your, like, it's like a 10th house feeling, which is of course the opposite of the 4th house, is that the highest part of your chart is in the 10th house. It's the most public part of your chart. It's kind of the place that everybody sees you, and it's your legacy. And the 4th house is your IC, and it's your lowest part. It's the most hidden part. I feel there's some kind of synergy right now between those two houses. So it would, in a full chart, like a lined up chart, it would be Cancer and Capricorn. Everybody's is different depending on what your rising is, right? Mine is Pisces and Virgo. And there's something about how you learned in your roots what is it? So they keep showing me like the head and the heart line here on the hand. The hand is Gemini. So Jupiter's in Gemini right now. So everything you touch can really, if you are transforming your own energy and you're ascending your own energy, everything that you touch and come in contact right now with will follow suit. And conversely, if you stay kind of stuck in pride and fear and shame, everything you touch will reflect that. So what they want to look at here, and what I think is going to be coming kind of up in Mercury retrograde, which is going to be in November, I believe. It's like, how are you carrying on the lineage? Are you carrying on, and I felt this strongly for the masculine too, are you carrying on the best parts of your lineage, or are you carrying on the worst parts? Are you going to carry on the trauma, or are you going to heal that trauma, and you're going to transmute this trauma? Because I see here, things can't stay as they are. You will be, your wisdom will move you to action, and this action is destined action. That's how it feels when I see these cards. You know, it is pointing you in the forward direction, and I feel like there's events coming here, some of these and some of those, that are clarifying events for you. And some of you, I don't normally say things like this, but I'm feeling like, you know, everybody's always really happy to say like, oh, they're going to get their karma, right? We all get our karma. The life you're living is your karma, if you believe in karma. Now, as we're transitioning out of the Piscean age into the Aquarian age, we will no longer have karma. We will not, that will not be our frequency. It will just be, it won't be delayed like that, is my understanding of it. But, and then in this incarnation, the masculine took on much more of the karma than the feminine did, but that doesn't mean all of it. You may indeed be going through a period of initiation where there's going to be things happening here that you will be able to finally transmute some of that DNA trauma of your lineage. And that may indeed be something that you even become known for, or you become an expert at. There's something indicated here that it will be a part of your destiny to kind of be known in a way. I don't think that's for everyone. Look at Shine. Free Spirit. Let go. So again, another card of like sacrifice, strength, and unconditional love, which is such a beautiful card. Right on top of the Council of Light with walk your truth, celebration, and surrender. Believe, awaken, and communication. So you have a lot here to be. Okay, I do feel like there's some fear here. There's a fear holding you back of some sort. This is to get you to call your power back. If you are over-reliant on people to make decisions for you, if you're codependent in any way, this is this event or events are calling you to retrieve these lost parts of your soul. This actually says soul retrieval on it. You know, they want you to be sovereign. If you haven't been getting those messages for like the last couple of years, here it is again. There's a big push for you to like bring more light into the inner temple, because you will pass through this darkness as you are initiated into this rite of passage. It says you're going somewhere sacred, being led by starseed energy and the Council of Light, which is, you know, one of the most divine cards. Divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realm. It may not feel very divine. I just have to say that. It says trust. Again, she's in the egg. Will. Growth. Second card of almost exactly the same thing. I mean, this one isn't as dark, but it's like night into day here. You can see there's going through a portal. Beginning. Gratitude. And third card of release, creation, and hunger, boundaries, pleasure, unexpected nourishment. So, you know, when we figure out what we're actually made of, when we figure out how strong we actually are, you know, that one doesn't belong there. It's kind of shocking sometimes to see that we were afraid of things that were, and we were allowing them to hold us in fear of doing anything. You know, I get the sense that this will card is important. It's the 13th card, so that would be another card of the death energy. What's already within you. Focus on the light. She feels she knows. Against the grain. Dream a beautiful dream. Release the dark wound. Let love live. So fourth card of letting go. In the world, not of the world. Going beyond normal. Every journey begins with a single step, and after the storm. Faith in the process. It does feel like something will have to kind of be torn down. There will be some sort of tower moment. I feel like there's like been 4 cards here where there's been little lights. There's lights along the way for you. There's signs and guides all over the place for you to follow. There's a lot of butterflies here. And she has a peacock feather. There is something here about kind of going against the school of everybody else, you know, the herd. Releasing the fear of being different, being seen, and allowing your light to be seen seems very important. And also your connection with the divine seems very important at this time. That having a practice where you cultivate your faith, whether it's prayer or meditation, however it is for you, that you connect and you believe that there is a benevolent world here, it seems important because, you know, I think I said at one point that it may get a little bit dark. Any more on that? No. Okay. So it is an important thing to talk about here, I guess, that we have been moving towards, it says, releasing old soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. We've been moving towards this age of light for many lifetimes, I guess, and that's what that card says. And the patterns that you are dealing with releasing are quite ingrained. And maybe for some of you a little bit stuck, especially when it comes to the feminine energy, kind of allowing your cup to be filled, receiving what is your, receiving more than you're used to. So that Instagram post I talked about, there can be hidden blocks to receiving if we were always shamed and guilted when someone gave us like what we truly wanted. Like maybe you really wanted a certain experience or toy or food or whatever, and your mom was like, okay, and then she gave it to you, and then there was a bunch of guilt that came with it, like, you don't appreciate me, you don't appreciate all that I do for you, you don't appreciate the work. And so there is a kind of shield that goes up when we are shamed for wanting something and then receiving it. And just remember that that's a pattern, right? Your mom is playing out the pattern that she learned, and then you get it, or your dad, or someone else. And could be like a sibling or a caretaker or grandmother or whatever. Could even just be your spouse has trained you this way. Like you've had to work really hard to get them to open up, get them to say that they love you, get them to share their feelings. And when they do, they get really like, they do a whole bunch of manipulation tactics around it, right? Like, see, I opened up and then you didn't even realize how hard that was for me, and you said something really mean and you hurt me. And right, opening up about our feelings is like a normal thing that we should be able to do. A lot of us are challenged with this because we've been hurt, because we're highly sensitive for many, many reasons. I'm not a psychologist, but these are the wounds that we're looking at, right? These are the wounds that come up on this journey. These are the wounds that keep us stuck in this Five of Pentacles energy. There's something wrong with me. I'm not right. My parents told me. People around me proved it. My lovers proved it. Look, they're all right about me. And when I see this Four of Pentacles come up underneath, it may be that this was your literal inheritance, right? It may be that the guarded heart came down from your parents. And I think this retrograde is talking about you're never really going to get out of that energy being strategic and playing a mind game, right? I think that's what that headline on the hand was. The fate line has to pass through the headline before it gets to the heart line, right? But I think often we just keep going round and round and round the headline, and we never really get to the heart line. And that may be why you have your back turned with this very heavy, chair shielding you and showing off all of your pentacles here that you've stacked up. It's like you're not going anywhere. You're not moving. So we do have 4, 5, 6, 7 of Pentacles, which is pretty significant. And they're all in the upright. No, this one's in the reverse. It's kind of like you're choosing to feel like no one cares about you, and he's mirroring that to you. And I mean, this is the Devil card's not here, but these aren't great cards, you know. There's some sneakiness, there's some feeling like there might be a bit of indulgence, a bit of manipulation, and overall, it feels like you both know that this is what it is. You both know this is a divine union, but have you decided to truly do the work and act like it and go towards each other? Have you gotten to the place where you could say these things out loud? And because this whole line right here, it's a very shady is the word that's coming out, you know. Raccoons are thieves over the 7, over the 3, and it's like that's kind of in a bit, it's kind of escapist energy for me, right? The 3 of Cups is kind of an escapist energy. It's just easier. But there's a question here of, you know, it's kind of that age-old question where I feel like you've decided you want to build your house of stone. You couldn't be in the Queen of Pentacles energy without that decision. But he has not necessarily decided that. And you're like, I can't really build a house of stone with a water page, sorry. You know, I'm not trying to be mean here, but that's the truth of the matter. It's like you can't take responsibility for your life and being, you know, you're trying to get to Empress energy. That takes responsibility for your life, for your thoughts and actions and words and deeds, and, you know, that's not 7 of Swords energy. And he may be thinking in a lot of ways that this is too heavy of a burden to bear. Like, I get that sense. These emotions are a heavy burden to bear. But unless you deal with them and you transmute them, and see, he's got this like mask here that he took off, it looks like. I don't know. There we go. You're kind of destined to the same fate if you don't transmute this inheritance. And there's something coming through about, you know, we use the word inheritance in this way that it's like we assume it will be valuable. And it's so interesting because this is a tree with pentacles on it. He's kind of waiting for, right? And this one's in reverse too. And here's the stained glass window of the tree with pentacles on it, right? And that's such a profound, it's like, this may be our earliest ancestors, right? Dealing with legacy, dealing with building, dealing with their emotions, trying to survive. And a lot of our mechanisms that we still carry are survival mechanisms. This is really profound, actually. A lot of these sneaky, burdensome, could be partying, addictions, avoidant tendencies here. We kind of use the fact that, you know, imagine that the things that they made stained glass windows of in the church were the things that kept them alive, right? Obviously, it has to do with the Bible, but it also has to do with, or, you know, it depends on what temple or what, you know, structure, but these things had been what kept people alive and was their main concern, right? And so the things that we make our lore, our history, our kind of burden to bear in our family, right? Our identity, which is what's been coming through today. The things that we make our identity from our family are kind of the things that we choose to kind of put on the stained glass windows of our mind, right? The light's coming in through divine spirit and illuminating these stained glass windows, and these are our memories, and these are the lore. You know, your grandfather was this way, your mother was this way, you know, your great-grandmother was this way, and so it goes that, therefore, this is a part of us. This lore is always with us, you know, really as baggage. Because what they really want you to do is to walk away from that, what you don't want of that anymore. And they want you to reclaim your own light, right? Whew. That was a tough message to bring through. I hope it made sense. It's very like deep and kind of like embedded, and that's what they're saying, like this is. And they're saying it feels like that because it actually is like embedded in your DNA. It's embedded in your tissues, for lack of a better word, as truth in quotation marks. And it's going to take a lot of your strength and, you know, a lot of your grit and your fight to get out. But this is what these situations that are coming up now are for you. It's like, do you want to take your power back? It's interesting that the feminine came up as the cheetah, because obviously it's the fastest land mammal or land animal, and it almost gives me an avoidant tendency, but it's like running really fast in the other direction, and the peacock is like, where are you going? What are you doing? And I almost want to say you're turning into the avoidant, or you're feeling very avoidant of situations that are coming up right now, and it may take a lot to kind of hold you and ground you into this energy. So I don't think we got any of these. Because I keep seeing this regeneration card here, and, you know, so often lately, I want to say for like at least a month, the message to me keeps coming up as like, if you are going anywhere else in your mind at all, like besides here and now, where you are, like if you're going to spirit, if you're going to the past, if you're going to the future, if you're going to like on your phone to look up like traveling to a different country, or what somebody else is doing. All of that is just running. And I know it sounds strange, but when they first started explaining it to me, they're just like, pretty much everything is an escape of dealing with your feelings here and now, which is what you should be doing all of the time. Can we actually do that all the time? No. So imagine, and that kind of brings my point to life here. Take a nap, to the sea, yang, treasure island, the fates, no place like home, to be fair, deep knowing, truth be told. Yeah, there's deep knowing here. So again, we have these two owls, unfinished symphony, and happy. There's just a really big understanding that's come in from the masculine that I get an energy of, that he knows, like beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you're the person that makes him happy, that understands him, that there's also this like real feeling of telepathy, no matter how far or long you two have been separated. There's this feeling of just, I know I could go talk to her at any time and everything would be the same as it was. I don't know why that's coming through. I think a lot of you are concerned about, so we have the fox sleeping. It's interesting, on the moon. I think for some of you, you're really concerned about things being fair and just and correct. Let me get some of these cards. Which they're saying is it's valid. Again, we have a mask and like a portal and a bunch of red rose petals here and also here, you know. I see and feel that you will get, finally, they're saying finally, you're going to get some view behind the mask, and it's going to change a lot of things. It's like you're going to get confirmation, you're going to get validation, and it's kind of because you don't want it anymore, you don't really care. I feel like you're so secure in your energy right here that it's like, I don't have to imagine, I know. And they're kind of saying that about imagine. It's like, stop trying to escape and take responsibility. And I'm sorry to say that, 'cause it's not a fun thing to say, but that's what's coming through. It's like, you have to integrate this masculine energy. It's important, and it's going to like be a really heavy cart up a very steep mountain for a minute. Like, it's going to be very heavy and it's going to be very steep. How many of these cards have this blue kind of green energy here? You know, and I just stopped on this one. Nothing is yet set in stone with the sea. I'm feeling that the ocean is very important here, because you're going to have to really, that's so interesting, really connect to your feelings. I love that. Love that. Again, the same message is coming through. Okay. Another release card. I think that's our 5th or 6th. Yes, this is the last card. I love that we ended on that. So the overall energy is you and your loved ones are safe. Communication is key. Don't let your past hold you back. Commitment is being tested. Expect powerful change, and nothing is yet set in stone. So I do see here, you are going to be the one that's going to need, I'm sorry, you can see that there's stuff going on. You're going to need to release something. We've had many death cards here. You're going to need to take action. And this, from these cards, it does seem that this issue has a very positive resolution. And I feel like it does come rather quickly. Maybe not for all of you, but I absolutely love that we got luck is on your side, prosperity lies ahead, end of a tough cycle. So this is on the 31st of July, or the 30th. I forget how many days there are. It's the end of July. We have the second Capricorn full moon. And for some of you, it may happen by then. This is a full moon in Cancer, so that will happen in Capricorn season. If it's maybe like the first part and then the second part, it may take all the way till December. I feel like a lot of these, it's faster than that. But it is going to make you kind of come face to face with your shadow. And we have a win-win outcome is forecast. It is interesting that it came up win-win. I think part of the win here, the biggest part of it, is that you get to come kind of face to face with your fears, with showing the world the real you. And with how much like faith and I don't know, this is a real like grit feeling that I'm getting. So we have the Mahatma energy. I was gonna say is developed within you. You know, you're going to be very impressed with yourself at the end of this. So to help us, we have fire and fire dragons, and Mary Magdalene, the sun, and Lady Portia, and the moon, and Orion. Mahatma energy, the golden age of Atlantis, many great souls placed some of their energy, as well as the Christ Buddha light and that of the 12 rays, into a sacred pool to create a high frequency group consciousness. People could draw from the sacred pool to enhance themselves and their projects. The golden white Mahatma energy is once more available, and you are invited to draw it through the chakra system into the earth. This will raise your frequency and help the planet, for you will leave golden white footprints wherever you go. So that's beautiful. That may help you, assist you get through the portal, which I have to think is the Lion's Gate, sorry. Dragons are fourth dimensional elementals, and they can access and transmute heavy vibrations that angels cannot reach. Archangel Gabriel oversees Thor and his fire dragons. You are asked to send out a fire dragon supervised by Gabriel to consume negativity in places and auras, and then ask Gabriel's angels to replace the lower energies with shimmering diamond and pure light. So again, drawing on the light, call on the fire dragons to transmute any stuck energy in your own aura and to light you up at a higher frequency so that you can radiate enthusiasm and joy. The affirmation is, I invoke fire dragons to clear my path to ascension. So that's beautiful. The gold and silver cloak, you have chosen the card of perfect harmony when you balance your wisdom and power, giving and receiving your connection with Hollow Earth and the seventh heaven. It offers you the courage to love. So I think that's what we were talking about this whole time, the courage to love. This makes you magnetic to people, animals, and situations so that you can attract all that is for your highest good. Your guidance is to bring yourself into harmony and balance, and then visualize yourself wearing the gold and silver cloak. so that you can draw in angel sonics to purify the energy around you. Expect the unexpected and miraculous. I am in total balance and harmony. And then Lord Cthulhu is the world teacher. In his incarnations as Saint Francis Shah Jahan, who built the Taj Mahal, and Melchior, one of the wise men, Lord Cthulhu practiced harmlessness, love, and wisdom. These energies are encapsulated in this card, so you are encouraged to spread knowledge and spiritual truths to others with humility and inspiration. Be ready to learn, for Lord Cthulhu is drawing your attention to something important. He is a member of the Brotherhood of the Golden Robe, those who take in and transmute the pain of the world. If you are sensitive to energies, ask him to wrap you in his light. I am open to learning and teaching. Mary Magdalene. So we also got 35, 36, 6, and 7, and 26. Mary Magdalene was a high initiate in the Order of the Essenes, and she is the spiritual partner of Jesus. She is now master of the sixth ray, raising dogma into spirituality. Mary Magdalene's Ascension retreat is in Marseille. She radiates a glowing buttercup yellow light to all who attune to her. Her light was hidden from us for centuries as she was misjudged about her role in Jesus' life. If you have felt wronged or misunderstood, Mary Magdalene offers you the courage to maintain your integrity. This card is an invitation to attune to Mary Magdalene to receive her blessings. I maintain my truth and I see the spirituality in all things. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. If you want to put something in the comments, you can put 777 or 234567 or just anything you resonated with. I'd like to see. And thank you so much for your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. I really appreciate it, and I shall see you soon. Bye.